All right, so hopefully the video was helpful. Let's go ahead and do a couple examples. All right, so the first one, adding mixed numbers with unlike denominators. And this is not going to require, I guess I should have changed that to without grouping, because everything today is with unlike denominators. So if looking at my problem here, both my fractions, or both my values, my numbers, have a whole number as well as a fraction. So I have 4 and 4/15 plus 12 and 3/5. Okay, so the first thing I'm just going to go ahead and do is I'm going to kind of write it out in parts, and I'm going to combine my parts. So I'm going to kind of write it over here to the side real quick. 4 and 4/15 plus 12 and 3/5. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and write it out. I'm going to write out my whole numbers. Oops. And this is not the only way to do it. So I'm going to add 4 and 12, and so I'm just going to break it down. 4 plus 12. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my fractions down here. So I have 4/15 plus 3/15. So plus 4/15 plus 3/15, but 3/5. All right, so now I have my equation written out, but I can't add, looking at my denominators, so I can't add these denominators because right now, because these fractions, because the denominators are different. So, I mean, there's a couple things you can do. You can add 4 plus 12 already and then figure out the fractions, but I'm just going to say hold off before you do anything. Let's go ahead and take care of these two fractions right here. Let's get them with the same denominator. And so I see that 5 and 15 and 5, they share a common multiple of 15 because 5 easily goes into 15. So I don't have to change the 4 and 15. So 4 and 15 is going to be good the way it is. 4/15 equals 4/15. I don't need to change that denominator, but I do need to change the 3/5. Okay, so I have 3/5. Right now, I want to get, since 15 is a common denominator, I need to get that denominator for 3/5. I need to get I need to get this fraction equivalent with a denominator of 15. So I'm going to put 15 there, and then I know that 5 goes into 15 3 times, and so I'm going to multiply 3 times the numerator as well, and I get 9/15. Okay. So now 4/15, we're good to go. 3/5, I have converted that into 9/15. All right, so now I'm going to rewrite the problem but with my equivalent fraction. So I have 4/12 plus, I'm sorry, not 4/12, what am I doing? I have 4 plus 12 plus 4/15 plus 3/5. All right, and now I can just go ahead and add the two parts. And so I'm going to add, so 4 plus 12 is 16. And then 4/15 plus 3/5 is going to give me, it's going to give me 7/15 plus 7/15. And so I'm going to go ahead, my answer is going to be, I'm going to add these two together, and I'm going to get 16 and 7/15. All right, that is already simplified. That fraction is in simplest form, so there's nothing else I need to do. All right, so go ahead. I'm going to do another example. I encourage you to pause the video, do it yourself, and then resume once you have finished and check your answer. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to write out my equation, or my expression, but I'm going to break it down. So I'm going to take my 8 plus 20, and I'm going to add my fractions plus 2/9 plus 3/4. All right, so I can actually, I'm going to do this one a little bit different last time. I'm going to go ahead and combine my two whole numbers. So I get 28 plus 2 ninths plus 3/4. All right, so now, before I add these fractions, I'm going to have, notice that my denominators are different. I can't add fractions with different denominators, so I need to, before I change them to fractions that have the same denominator. So I'm going to go to the side on this one. So I got 2 ninths and 3/4. So 2 ninths and 3/4. All right, so what common denominator can do both these fractions share? And I'm going to look at, and I'm going to decide that by finding the least common multiple of my denominators, and then change my numerators. So I'm going to start look at the higher number, which is 9, and I'm just going to keep seeing my multiples of that number until it has a same multiple as 4. Or you could write it down. So I have 9. Right, is 4 a multiple of 9? No. 18. Is 4 a multiple of 18? No. 27. Is 4 a multiple of 27? No. 36 is 4 a multiple of 36, and the answer is yes, because 4 times 9 is 36. So this is going to be my common denominator. So I need to convert both these fractions into an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 36. And so I have 3. Okay. So let's look at the first one, 2 ninths first. So 2 ninths, so 9 times 4 is 36. So I'm going to multiply 4 times 2, the numerator, and I get 8. So 8/36. All right. Now I'm going to look at 3/4. How can I get that to 36? So 4 times 9 is 36. So I'm going to multiply 9 times the numerator, and I get 27. So these are my new fractions, 8/36 and 27/36. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my equation with those values. And so luckily, I already did the whole number, so that 28 is going to stay 28 for now. All right, but then I'm going to add the new fractions, the equivalent fractions in place of the originals. So I have plus 8/36 plus 27/36. All right, and now I can go ahead and add all this together, and that's going to get me 28, and 28, 8 plus 27 is, say, 31, 35, 35, 36. And that is already simplified. Yep, that's already simplified, so there's nothing else I need to do. So my answer is 28 and 35, 36. All right, go ahead and try one on your own, and hit resume once you're ready. All right, let's go over this one. And I'm just going to do this in all black just for the sake of time. So 7/2 equals 7 plus 12 plus 2/5 plus 1/6. And that equals 19 plus 2/5 and 1/6. The common denominators would be 12/30 plus 5/30. Right, and that's going to get me 19 plus 17/30, and then that's going to equal 19 and 17/30. All right. All three of these already simplified. I didn't have to do any simplifying. All right, so your answer is 19 and 17/30. All right, so go ahead and resume the lesson. The next thing that you're going to be doing is the exact same thing, but you're going to be doing it with subtraction.